Your money is losing value just sitting in your bank account. So what do you do with it? You're hearing about CDs, you're hearing about high yield saving accounts. What is better for you? Well, it depends. Today I'm going to break it down. And so after hearing this video, you can decide what you want to do with your money. Okay. So I've been talking about CDs and I've been talking about high yield savings account on this channel for a while now. And one might be asking, well, what is the best way to go, right? Or what is the best route to take? And so it's going to be dependent on what your purpose is for your money and, what the goal is for your dough. What do you want to do with it? So today I'm going to share pros and cons of your CDs or your high yields account. And then from there, you can decide, well, which one you think is best for you. So let me share my screen with you. And so let's dive in. So the first thing, let's just talk about the fact that both, well, let's just write CDs and then we have our high yields. And sometimes you might see HYSA. It's the same thing. It's high yield savings account. All right. So the good thing is they're both backed by the FDIC. And so, you get your money back if anything were to happen, right? But let's look at the pros. Okay, pros. Now, the pros for your CDs. So one thing is, let me just say this because we're in a different time, I think, because back in the day, your CDs were giving you extremely higher rates than, well, there wasn't even an HYSA back in the day. It's recent that we've learned of the high yield savings account, or if there was, it wasn't available to the public. Let's just say that, because there are things available to other people. But yes, so however, I'm not seeing that that's the case. I'm seeing that their competitive rates, well, let me dive into it before I get too ahead of myself, but I'm seeing where it's competitive sometimes. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, because some might say the HYSA and the CDs are giving me the same rates and it doesn't make sense to lock it in a CD, but let's see if that's really the case. So let's say the first thing, if you lock in your CD at a certain rate, right? You're locked in. You're locked in at that rate, regardless of, the interest rates are going lower or stuff like that. And that happened to me with my high yield savings account. The interest rates dropped because when I locked in, it was like about, what was it? When I locked in, I think it was close to 5%. And now I'm at a 3.5 rate. And so because interest rates started going lower, then your rate for your HYSA is going to dip. So the good thing about having a CD, when you're locked in, whatever that rate is, you're locked in, and the rates going up or down fluctuating doesn't affect that. So that is a good thing. So that's a plus, locked in for your rate. So you have a locked in rate. All right. What else? Well, the good thing is also, if you don't need your money right away, it's great for that. So great if you don't need your money right away. I'm not okay. There we go. If don't need money right away. Okay, so that's good. And who doesn't like that? I always say, they say, oh, save for an emergency. But anyways, that's another time, another day about that. But so those are the pros for your CDs. Now, let's look at the pros for your HYSA, right? And so the pro with your HYSA is when you get your high yield savings account, your money is readily available whenever you need it. Well, let me not say that, because some of them do have some stipulation, but you have liquid assets available at your disposal whenever you need it, right? Uh-oh. Let me hop over here. No, seems like my pen. Okay, there we go. So you have your liquid available sooner, right? Your liquid money. When you say liquid, I'm talking about your money available sooner. And I will say sooner because I don't think it's instant. I had a situation because of course we are saving for rainy days, right? And I had a situation where I needed some money out of my high yield savings account. And I went in, I'm like, okay, I need this money. Let me transfer it out. And it was like, you got to wait 24 hours. So it's available sooner and you're not particularly, there we go, fined. I was trying to find the right word. You're not particularly fined if you pull your money from your HYSA because it's your money. You need it now, you get it. My money, I need it now, you can get it. While, and I don't want to go to the cons yet. So let me go back to the pros for the HYSA. Um, so that you have liquid available. Let me switch over here. There we go. You have liquid available when you need it, and your rates. Now, this was a bad thing here, but it's actually a good thing here. So the rates actually fluctuate, and I guess it's a good thing here. But let's just say rates adjust with market. And what's the good thing about this? The good thing is if the market interest rate starts going up, then the money that's locked in for your HYSA also starts going up as well. The interest rate for your CD starts going up. So that's a good thing, right? And so those are the two pros I have for the CD and the HYSA. Now, let's look at the cons. What are the cons? Okay. Now, I said this previously, but one of the cons here is that what? You get a penalty if you take your money out, right? You get penalized, right? So you get a penalty or you have to pay a penalty, right? If you take money sooner than it's locked in. Okay, so you have to pay a penalty. What else? Your money is untouchable for that term, which is kind of the same thing when you come about paying a penalty. But one of the biggest things and one of the issues when you get a CD, if you're locked in, while it's a pro, you may also miss out, right? On if the interest rates go up rather, you cannot get that rate anymore because you're already locked in. So you may miss out on higher, right? Higher interest rates. Okay, and so that's not good. That is not good, and you get a penalty if you take your money sooner. Now, with your high yield savings account, we say the rates adjust with the market, but that's also a con, right? Because if the rates adjust with the market, if the rate goes down, which what's exactly happened to me, and so because of that, my interest rate went down as well. Okay. And so we don't want that, right? We don't want that at all. But that's the con of your high yield. Now, some may say that some say the rates are usually lower than the CD. I think it depends though. It depends on the length of time. And I'm gonna explain this a little bit more. Lower than CD. It depends because I'm seeing some CDs with extremely high interest rate these days. Like I mentioned in my previous video, like 1 year, the 4.25%, that's even higher than, 6 months rather, that's even higher than my high yield savings account rate. And so it's attractive, right? And so, no, it was 1 year, 4.25. And again, it depends on the bank. But yeah, so when it comes to your CDs and your HYSA, it depends on what you're planning to do with your money, the goal for your money, and what you're really trying to accomplish. Everybody we know should be trying to beat inflation, definitely the case, and you should be trying to get higher return on your money. Some might say you should be trying to get up to 10% interest back on your money, and that's why I talk about using the stock market, real estate, businesses and those different type of things, because that's how you're really beating inflation. But anyway, that is better than the bank giving you 0.0001% on your money is also sufficient. So let's recap here. Oh no, I know. That's why I came on camera. I wanted to kind of explain. In the previous video, I mentioned, when you have the different time period or the terms that you can get your CDs. And traditionally, the longer term period gives you a better interest rate. But I am not seeing that. That is not the case as of September 2025. I don't know what's going on with the market. I don't know what the banks, I got to look into this a little bit more. But it's going to be important that you really do comparison, call around, go to different banks and see what's what. All right, so let's do a quick recap on what we just discussed. So what we looked at are the pros and cons of having a CD versus a HYSA, right? And so high yield savings account for short. And so having a CD, one of the pros, or the two pros that I looked at here today, one, you're locked in at a rate, meaning if the interest rate starts to go down, you're already locked in at an interest rate that's higher than that. It doesn't affect you. And it's great if you're not doing anything with your money now. Like some people, they say, oh, have up to 10 times. Is that what they said? 6 months. Yeah, 6 months of your current income. And so you might say, well, 6 months of my income is a lot, right? I just need 3 months. And so you may take another 3 months and put in somewhere else, like lock it in a CD. So it's great if you don't need your money right now. Now, as it relates to your cons for your CD, well, if you take out your money sooner than, let's say you lock it in for 6 months, you're going to have to pay a penalty. And those penalties sometimes are very high. And also, since you're locked in, while it's a good thing to be locked in, since you're locked in, if the interest rate starts to go up, you're locked in at a lower rate, and that will not change. Now, when we look at your HYSA, right, your high yield savings account, a pro, you have the money readily available to you, and it's the interest rate adjusts with the market. So as opposed to where the CDs, you're locked in, your interest rate will be adjusting with the market. So if it goes up, yay, you get higher interest rate. But the con there, even though it's adjusting with the market, right? Adjusting with the market means then if the rates go down, your money's rate goes down too. And, now I don't know if this is really a con, but I'll say it. Traditionally, I'll put that there. The rate is usually lower for your HYSA, but I'm not seeing that currently. So you may be asking, right, which one is better for you, or which one should you decide to use? Now, if you are at a point in your life where you have the opportunity to just put your money somewhere stashed away and you don't need it right now, definitely lock it in longer term CDs. And I will not just say longer term CDs. I will say when you're looking for a CD, look for CDs, even with the current bank. Let's say you're looking at a particular bank. Look at which term is giving you the most for your money, right? Or is giving you the most return. And I will use that term, especially if you don't need it. So if it's, let's say, a 1-year term, like I was seeing previously, lock it in for a year and keep re-rolling that up. If it's a 3-year term, lock it in for 3 years, especially if you don't have any need for it. Like if you're saving for your kids' education, whatever, you use that and you just put it in the CD. But if it's your emergency fund, I would not put my emergency fund in a CD, because you do not know when you'll need that emergency fund. Our cars, we love to say that, our cars or your house sometimes, or just life, life is life. And so you need your money sooner than you think. So the money that you have on hand, at least 2 months of your expenses, your monthly expenses, at least 2 months, you want to make sure you have that on hand. And when you're saving that, I would strongly suggest putting that in an HYSA. I wouldn't recommend putting that in a CD, but of course it's totally up to you, because if you need that money like right now, like tomorrow, you will pay a penalty to take it out of your CD, right? And so that's really what the big factor is to determine if you do a CD versus a HYSA. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. Do like, share, and subscribe. And I heard there's a hype button and to like the video. It gives you 3 per week. Do hype it up so the videos can go out to, more people. And I appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching. Really, 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 I'm grateful. On this channel, the aim is to bridge the wealth gap. And I do that by sharing as much knowledge as I receive so that you can also get wealthy, because I do believe wealth is a right for everyone, not just some. And so until next time, see you.